ladies, and welcome back to Single Mom Space. The Single Mom Space is not about your kids, it's about you, the single parent. Welcome to week 2 of the challenge. This week, we're going to talk about your control. We're going to talk about how do you regain control of your life, your money, and your future. Last week, if you haven't done the workbook yet, or you haven't watched the video, please go check it out before you watch this video. Because last week is the foundation of everything. It's about taking back control of your money. This week is how to handle your life with the money that you have. Now that you've figured out how much money you have left, it's time for you to step into your future. It's time for you to step into what you want to do financially. First thing you need to ask yourself is, how much money do you think you need to save every single month? What is the number that you believe that can make you more happy when it comes to, or more happier when it comes to money or comes to your life and your future? What is the number that you feel like you need to save? When would you like to be debt-free? At what point in your life do you feel like you can be debt-free? Is it within 3 months? Is it within 6 months? A year? 5 years? When it comes to being debt-free, I would say never plan anything more than 3 years. 3 years to pay off debt is more than enough. If you can make it 2, even better. Because 3 years, you are gonna start getting a lag. You're gonna feel frustrated. It's gonna be taking too much time. The faster you can get out of debt is the better you're gonna feel, and the faster you'll be able to save more money and to pursue more of your dreams. Next question, how much money would you like to save? What is the number that you feel like you need to save when it comes to your income? Is it 20%, 10%, 15%? What is it? What is the number that you would like to save so that you can build a better future for yourself and your kids? Next question, what is it that you want to do when you're debt-free? Or what is it that you would like to save for? Answer the questions very carefully. Figure out what is it that you want to do with that money. Because the problem is, if you get a whole bunch of money or you save a bunch of money and you have no plans for it, you're going to end up spending it because that money never had a purpose in the first place. So what is your number? So now that you've gathered your paperwork, everything that we've done last week, I would love for you to have that in front of you. All written down so that you know what is your number, what is your income, your fixed expenses, what are you saving for your emergency fund, and what do you have to work with. Because today we're going to work on what do you have to work with, which is what we called your reality. First things first, stop hiding. Stop hiding from your collector. Stop hiding bills. Stop hiding your purchases. It's time to come out in the open. You have to tell yourself the truth, not just pretend that you're doing something that you're not. A lot of people are in debt and they're pretending like it's not true, but it is. And reality will catch up to you. So I would say go grab those unopened bills, those unopened collection letters. Grab them all and see what you have. What is your truth? So now we're going to look at all the bills that are in collections or you have not paid. And you're going to, on a piece of paper, write down the totals of each bill. You're going to write down who you owe, what amount do you owe. Doesn't matter from when you owed it. Just put that down one by one. What is it that you owe and who do you owe? If it's a family member, write it down. If it's school loans, write it down. Even if it's a whole bunch of small loans, write them down. Because you know what? In this step, we're going to figure out a way to pay them all back. The next step is to never fall behind again. You're going to make a promise to me, yourself. You're going to tell one of your friends, tell a parent, tell somebody that you will never fall behind on your bills again. You will not pay your rent late. You will not pay your phone bill late. We have to get back to a point where we are all on the same level. You have to be on a solid foundation. This is what we're building. If you say, I'm gonna do this, and then next month you're late on your rent, you're gonna fall behind again. And then you're gonna have to wait for tax time to be able to get that money back. And then you're gonna use your taxes to pay your bills. And it's not gonna be cute. And you're gonna be stressed out. So let's stop the stress from now. And we're gonna make a promise right now that we will never fall behind on any of our bills again. So now that you've made the list, you've promised yourself that you will not ever be behind on any bill again. You're gonna bring up all your bills in order. So if your rent is behind, the first thing we need to do is cover your rent. Decided to move, you're gonna figure out a way to sublet your apartment or whatever the case may be. And we are going to move to a new place and we're never gonna fall behind again. If you're behind on your electricity bill, we're gonna figure out how much are we behind on and we're gonna try and bring it up to snuff. Now, the only way we do this is by figuring out how much do you have to actually spend. If you have $500 to spend, we're gonna put that $500 to work. You're going to list all your bills from smallest to largest. And then after you do that, you're gonna put what's the most important ones. So if it's rent, electricity, hot water, food, whatever it is. Credit cards are the last thing we're gonna touch. We're gonna make sure that your umbrella, your shelter, your foundation is good before we even pay your credit card. They will see no money from you. If you're worried about your credit score, do not worry about your credit score. Worry about yourself. Worry about your own life. Your credit cards will wait. Even if it takes the next 4 months before you can make another payment, that's okay. If you're in the place where your electricity is not paid for, or your rent is not paid, or you're behind on the most important key elements to your life, then credit cards and credit card debt can wait. After you've listed all your debts, everybody that you owe, from largest to smallest and most important to least important, you're gonna take that money and you're gonna figure out how much you would like to spend on debt. But before you do that, you have to save. You pay yourself first. I know the cycle. When you think you have extra money, so you put it away and you save, but you never thought about the bill that comes every single month, or that comes every single year, or your car registration, or changing your tires because we have to do that in Canada, or whatever else is coming up in your life that you'd never planned for. You take that money and then what? You're behind on everything. We're gonna start saving. You're gonna save $100, $50, whatever it is, every single paycheck. And that's gonna go in an account that's not accessible by your card. Your debit card cannot have access to that account. You cannot go to the store and get access to that account. The best thing is to make it so that you have to go into the branch to even get money. You have to go physically into the bank to get money, so that you know that there's another human being looking at you when you are touching that account. Because that account is not your emergency fund, it's your savings account. If you have annual bills, you add them all up. You say, okay, I have my car registration, I have my tire change, I have oil change, I have, maintenance, you have school fee, whatever the case may be. You're gonna add all those amounts up. You're gonna divide that by 12. And that's the amount that you're gonna need to save every single year. Put clothes in there, Christmas presents, add those all into it. When the bill comes, it's over budget, it's okay, because you have at least half of the money. If you underspend and the bill is actually lower, or you spent less on Christmas presents, less on clothes, that is money that you save for the next year. This is not spending money in the sense of going out and doing groceries. This is the money that you're going to keep for those annual bills, those biannual bills. It's just money that you're gonna spend eventually that you're saving for right now. Now it's time to put your mind to it. Nobody can make you do this. You have to do it for yourself. If you want to make a change, you have to pick yourself up and decide you're going to make a change today. I had to do it. This is not me bullshitting you guys. This is me being real with you. I had to do it. I had to figure out what I needed to do and where I needed to be so that I can have my dream. It's not easy. What I'm telling you right now is not easy. But if you do it, trust me, I'm 100% sure that next year you're gonna feel so empowered, you're gonna feel so good about yourself because you've taken control. So what we haven't spoken about is after you've made your list of your debts and how to pay them all off on schedule. This is going to take a little bit of a moment, so note that it's gonna be a little longer. This video's gonna be longer, but I'm just gonna explain to you what you need to do when you're contacting the credit bureau, or if you're contacting the collection agency. Sorry, I was blanking on that word. If you're contacting them, you need to know this. You need to have a calendar with you. You're going to write on that calendar the days that you get paid. That's very important. If you get paid every week, if you get paid every month, you're gonna write down when you get paid from the government, when you have your child support coming in. All that is going to go on your calendar. You're gonna plan it out for the next 3 months. Okay? When you do this, when you call the credit card company or collection agencies, you're gonna give them a date that you want to pay them. You never give them access to your bank account, ever. You tell them you're going to send them a check, or you tell them you're going to send them a money order. Whatever the case may be, you never give them access to your account, because if they make a deal with you, they will come in and they will take your money. They'll take more than it was agreed to. When you say that you're going to pay them, so let's say you owed Visa, okay? Let's say any Visa company. Let's say you owed Visa and you owed them $500. And you had $500 in your budget that you want to pay. So you looked at your budget, you have $500 extra, Visa can be crossed off right away, you're good to go, let's do this, we're calling Visa. But Visa's in collections. You're gonna call Visa first, and you're gonna try and negotiate with them. If they tell you it's in collections, it's no longer in our hands, you have to call the collections agency. You're gonna look at how long it was in collections. So if it was 2-3 months, you're gonna probably have to pay the full amount, which is $500. If it's been a year, 2 years, even 6 months, you can negotiate. You're gonna tell them to get rid of all the interest. Any interest that they've charged you, you don't wanna pay that. Let's say it's with interest, it's $500, but less interest, it ends up being $300. You're gonna try and negotiate to that $300 mark. You're gonna push. Even if you have to hang up the phone and call them in a week or a month, you're gonna write a note on your calendar saying, I called Visa on the 1st and they told me they can't negotiate, so I'm gonna call them on the 30th and see what they can do. When you call them on the 30th, you're gonna say, listen, I have $300 right now. You can take it. I have so many other debts. I cannot afford to pay you. So can you do something for me? They're gonna tell you, I don't know what I can do, as you know, blah, 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 back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You're gonna say, listen, I have 300. It could be 350. But when you have that money, you're gonna say, listen, I got that money right now. They're gonna say, okay, I will take the 350. Perfect. You just saved yourself $150 to put towards another debt. So you're gonna take that $350, you're gonna say, okay, how would you like to be paid? Is it going to be direct deposit? Because you can directly send it to them, or you can mail them a check, or you can mail them a money order. When you do that, before you even send a penny, you tell them, I need a letter in writing saying that this account is completely closed. Why? Because they can come back to you next month and saying, you owe us $150. No, you wanna make sure that it is clear, covered, you can walk away with a clear conscience. Also, that letter is important if you want to go and get a loan later, in a sense to buy a house or to buy a car or whatever the case may be. When it comes to a bank, they need to see that you've paid it and there is an agreement and the account is closed. Even if you have bad credit, they still need to see that letter. You're gonna grab that letter, you're gonna put it in a safe place so that you can always find it no matter what. You need to keep it for at least 7 years. That's why it's so important that you have it. And every other collection agency that you deal with, you're gonna do the same exact thing. It's gonna be just a routine. Now, let's say the bill is not in collections and it's just a regular Visa card or MasterCard. Let's use MasterCard this time. Let's say you owe the same $500 for MasterCard, but it's not in collections. If you were gonna call MasterCard on your own, when you call them, you're gonna say, listen, I owe this amount of money. MasterCard is gonna say, well, we charged you $100 extra, so now it's $600 in interest that you owe. You're gonna say, man, I can't afford it. And literally, you're gonna say these words, I cannot afford that amount. I would love to pay it off as soon as possible. What is it that I can do? What they're gonna do is they're gonna create a payment plan for you. They're gonna tell you, okay, you have to pay $50 every single month for this amount of time. You say, listen, that's still a lot. They're gonna ask you, okay, send me what your income is. Send me what your budget is. You're gonna talk to a manager to do this. This is not a regular agent. You're gonna skip the agent. You're gonna say, listen, I can't talk to you. I need a manager right now. The manager is gonna go over your own personal budget. Sometimes they go as deep as to look at your monthly budget, and they look at how much you're bringing in, how much you're spending, kids, whatever the case may be. If they see it and they say that you can't afford it, they will be able to reduce your interest rate for that period of time, or they can freeze your interest. That means you pay no interest for 3 months, let's say. So that means you're getting no interest, and what you do then is you pay that whole thing off within the 3 months. So if you owe $600 and they didn't, like let's say they didn't remove the extra interest that they charged you or late fees or whatever the case may be, you still have $600. You can take, let's say you had $500 saved or $300 saved, you pay that off in that 3 months. That means 3 months freeze, no interest. You pay that as soon as possible because that is a deal of a lifetime. If you can get your late fees removed, if you can get your interest removed, even better. But remember, when you're calling these companies, you're working for you. They're working for themselves, you're working for you. Every penny that you save is another penny that you can pay off another debt or you can put towards saving. So when you go there, it's a business meeting. You are no longer a single mom, or you're no longer a little girl, or you're no longer negotiating, a little deal. You're negotiating your own income. You've worked hours for that money. Remember that. It was not something that you got for free. This is not free money that you're giving them. This is money you've worked for. So every single penny, you're gonna make it count. I hope that I'm clear. If I'm not, you can send me a message on social media. I will answer. You can write me a message on Single Mom Space. I will answer. Ask me any questions and I will be clear with you. The reason why I'm giving you these steps is because I did it. I know it works. I've done it. And it works every single time. Sometimes it takes a little longer to negotiate. Sometimes it's a short time. But as long as you're willing to work for your money, that's it. Also, on the calendar, when you're giving them a date for payment, so let's say you decide to do a payment plan, you said, I'm gonna pay you every 15th of the month. Make sure that you will have the money on the 15th. The one thing credit card companies and collection agency hate is when people lie to them. They become harder to negotiate with. They become meaner. They become cold with you because you didn't stick to your agreement. So the goal is to stick to your payment plan, but negotiate it where you're paying less. Hope you like this video. Next week, we're gonna talk about self-love, which is the next step into this challenge. Enjoy your week. If you spend this whole week negotiating, do it. What do you have to lose? Nothing. This is between you and the credit card company and me if you want to share it. Remember, you're working for yourself. I'm out. I just hope you get it.
I'm ready to grab a calculator.
Okay, next.